It seems like every other day now your favorite rapper is getting arrested. Whether it's drugs or murder, either way, the police are gonna try and book them on something. In some cases like TK's, the police get lucky and they actually get a conviction. But on the opposite end of that spectrum, we've got rappers who get away with anything, even if it's murder. Yeah, I'm definitely talking about you, King Von.
Yeah. What is that? What are you talking about?
And for some, it doesn't matter if they get caught red-handed on camera. They still find a way to get away with that stuff. But how exactly do they keep on getting away with these crimes? Well, simple. They're lawyers. When rappers get into trouble, they often call their lawyers to clean up their messes, with one of the best cleaners being Drew Findling. Nicknamed the billion-dollar lawyer, Drew Findling is a New York-born Atlanta-based attorney. While his name might not sound familiar to you, his client list definitely does. He has defended the likes of 21 Savage, The Migos, Young Dolph, Cat Williams, Gucci Mane, just to name a few. In fact, he is the main reason that NBA YoungBoy isn't rotting in a jail cell right now. In September 2020, NBA YoungBoy was in his hometown filming a music video for one of his songs. Since he was in his hood, YoungBoy decided to get comfortable. So comfortable, in fact, that he and his crew started parading around their guns for the whole internet to see. While it looked pretty harmless online, concerned neighbors didn't see it that way, so they soon called the police. YoungBoy, among 16 others, were quickly arrested, but his stay in prison didn't last long, because after a quick phone call to his lawyer, YoungBoy was released on a $1.5 million bond. His bond did have some restrictions though, as he was placed on house arrest in Utah. During this time, YoungBoy did not behave himself. He was allegedly running a prescription fraud ring, all while he was still on house arrest, so this added to his charges. Now with a track record this bad, I'm sure you'd expect the judge to lock YoungBoy up and throw away the key forever. But that didn't happen, because you see, his lawyer Drew managed to reach a plea deal with the prosecution. The deal was that if NBA YoungBoy pled guilty, he would only have to serve 23 months instead of facing the maximum, which was 15 years. The deal Drew negotiated for him was too good for YoungBoy to pass up, so he pled guilty and he got sent to prison. Now after the verdict, many expected to see YoungBoy in March of 2026, but he came out way sooner. Like a year sooner. On the 24th of March 2025, NBA YoungBoy was released from custody due to his time served, meaning NBA YoungBoy only served 11 months in prison, which is nothing compared to the 15 years he was facing. So now to celebrate his freedom, NBA YoungBoy is now set for a tour, which he probably wouldn't be having if it wasn't for Drew. But not all of Drew's clients actually have to serve prison time. For some of them, they actually get off with only a slap on the wrist, such as Cardi B. In October of 2018, Cardi B along with her friends visited a strip club in New York. Initially, they were there to have some fun, but things quickly escalated when Cardi B noticed two female bartenders in the club. Allegedly, one of the two women were in a romantic affair with her then-husband Offset. So, feeling disrespected, Cardi B decided to confront them. And that's when things got ugly. Cardi B started throwing champagne bottles at the two women, allegedly even telling her crew to beat them up, and this incited a huge brawl in the club that got a lot of people injured. After causing such a spectacle, Cardi B knew she was about to get in a whole lot of trouble, so she quickly turned herself into the police. And not too long after this, she was indicted on 14 charges, including 2 felony counts of attempted assault, along with misdemeanor charges of reckless endangerment, criminal solicitation, conspiracy, and harassment. While he wasn't her only attorney, Drew Findling was the most important part of her defense. He argued that Cardi B didn't actually hurt anyone, so she shouldn't be placed at fault. This though was obviously a load of crap, so he urged Cardi to plead guilty, which she soon did. She pled guilty to 2 misdemeanors and was later sentenced to only 15 days of community service, meaning thanks to Drew, she didn't even have to step foot in a jail cell. But he doesn't just handle silly club brawls, he also defends serious cases like murders, such as the time he helped DaBaby beat a murder case. In 2018, DaBaby was shopping with his family in Walmart when 2 men confronted him. Now, it's unclear what the man wanted, but according to DaBaby, one of them started to approach him in a threatening manner, so he acted immediately and he started throwing hands at the guy. That's when the other guy, a man named Jalen Craig, reached out for a handgun. DaBaby saw this, so he quickly shot Craig before Craig could shoot him. Shortly after this incident, DaBaby was charged with murder, and seeing as how he threw the first punch, it wasn't looking good for him. But that's when a miracle happened. A Walmart employee who was a key witness failed to appear in court. This completely threw the case apart, so soon after, his charges were dropped, and he was now only facing a misdemeanor for having a concealed firearm. But that was nothing too big for Drew to handle, because DaBaby only got a suspended 30-day sentence with 12 months probation, which is nothing considering the fact that he actually killed a man. Now, Drew doesn't just defend rappers, he's also defended presidents, such as Donald Trump. But as of now, he's dealing with one of the hardest cases of his career. That's defending Lil Durk. After Lil Durk was charged with murder for hire, he got Drew Findling to represent him. But as good as Drew is, it's still not looking good for Durk. For example, he hasn't even been offered a plea deal.
Now, was there a plea deal offered at all up to this point?
No.
No. Okay.
But if there's anybody who can win this case, it's definitely Drew, because he can win just about anything.
So you actually beat a case like the one you're actually describing.
I did.
Right? A woman shot her husband in the face how many times?
I've
multiple
done
times.
multiple times.
And you actually won in court, and she was found not guilty.
But while Drew Findling is one of the best lawyers in the game, he isn't the scariest, because that title belongs to Alex Spiro, who's defended billionaires such as Elon Musk and Jay-Z. Alex has been known to do Jay-Z's dirty work for a while now. For example, when Jaguar Wright went on Piers Morgan and started accusing Jay and his wife of some terrible stuff, he sent his lawyer Alex to erase all the traces of the interview.
Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. Said in the moment they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview.
But Jay-Z doesn't just use Alex's services for himself, he also enlists his help for his artists, such as the time 21 Savage got arrested by ICE. 21 Savage is originally a British citizen, so after immigration found out that his visa had expired, they quickly arrested him and threatened deportation. Since 21 Savage had a great relationship with Jay-Z and Roc Nation, Jay couldn't see him behind bars, so he called up Alex. After 9 days behind bars, 21 Savage was granted a $100,000 bond, and Savage was never deported. So I guess we've got Jay-Z to thank on this one. But on another note, one friend who Jay-Z needs to recommend his lawyer to is his homeboy Diddy, because he's facing some serious charges. But now that I think of it, Diddy might not need Alex at all, because he's got Brian Steele on his side. Brian Steele gained fame during 2024 after he defended Young Thug during the YSL RICO case. Not only did he manage to get Young Thug a plea deal, but he was also willing to go to jail for his client. Now that right there is the type of loyalty any rapper would kill for. No wonder Diddy hired this guy to defend him. But if Brian Steele isn't the lawyer for you, then you should try Joe Tacopina. Now, I'm sure most of you probably know Joe from the time he defended Donald Trump, but did you know that he once helped Meek Mill get out of prison? After Meek Mill was sentenced to 4 years in prison for violating his probation, Joe worked tirelessly to secure his release. He exposed the judge on the case for being corrupt, causing her to be removed from the case entirely, and with the new judge, they managed to get Meek Mill freed. But the biggest case he's worked recently was when he defended A$AP Rocky. Rocky was caught on camera shooting a gun at one of his friends. Now, after getting caught in 4K, or in this case 360p, you would expect to see Rocky getting the full 25 years, right? But no, thanks to Joe, that didn't happen. When they were in court, Joe took every chance he had to expose Rocky's accuser of being jealous and greedy. And it worked, because Rocky would be found not guilty.
Not guilty.
But he's not the only rapper who's beaten serious charges, as King Von has even got away with murder. Click on this video for that story.